Hey guys, so as you know, my channel is going to be 95% maker shoutouts. Most of them are going to be people I consider underrated or need more attention. However, it would be so unfair if I didn't at least mention the most famous makers in the fandom. Because each maker has already gained such a large following, I chose to do a brief overview of their style, current pricing, and special skills. Typically with makers, I don't mention pricing because I really don't want there to be a discrepancy between when you go to commission them versus when I said it was lower, or any kind of difference in that way. With newer makers, that's of course going to be the case because as their skill increases, their prices are going to of course increase, so I probably won't mention pricing. With these makers, I will completely overlook that as much of them have pretty much slowed their price growth just because they've kind of solidified them just because they've been in the fandom so long. And that's of course not to say that they can't go up in the future. Every maker on this list have heads that typically start around $1,100, so just keep that in mind. Now time to go through not 10, but 8 awesome makers because 10 might have been a little too long. So, don't hug cacti. So customs start around $3,900 for full suits, but most go between $4,200 and $4,800 USD. They tend to favor simpler designs and only accept about 10% of quotes received. Their style, while many point to it as same face syndrome, is actually a very sleek and casual design. This maker mostly, of course, works on dogs, cats, and the occasional bunny. Their style is instantly recognizable, and they're one of the few makers that really does go to town on making 2D eyes, which is really cool since everyone is kind of going to like 3D eyes nowadays. While their style simply isn't for me, I actually did find one design I really do enjoy. Look at this husky head right here. I really appreciate the bold blue that really is so hard to find sometimes. It's such a beautiful contrast with the white and gray that I just love for some reason. While this head doesn't look insanely happy or perpetually angry, I really like that the face just kind of says, yeah, I'm down for fries, but they're not super in your face about it. Autumn Fallings. When I think of the thought classic fursuit, I think Autumn Fallings, immediately. Her suit style is so crisp, each design looking so unique and cohesive to their style, I adore it. Each one does such an amazing job of blending natural colors with highly saturated or unique and pastel colors. This maker is doing an absolutely stellar job of branching out to new species as well, which I adore, as well as keeping every design unique and interesting. Even just looking at the suits in their queue, you know this maker doesn't shy away from complexity. But I think it's really the eyes that scream Autumn Fallings. When I first joined the fandom, they're one of the few makers I was really told about. But I think I love their suits because of how dynamic the color combinations are. The small implementations of those colors completely change the suit. I love it because it really shows that Tobians also don't have to be just pink or black or brown. But really, I just love everything about this cute suit, even the little gauges. Now, I couldn't find a price list for this maker because their site's not up, but you can probably expect it to be around 4K with how popular they are. Beauty of the base. We all know base. Their persona, famous, see tons of cons, has a speaker in the fursuit, yada yada yada. But what I'm really here for is look at those crazy 2D designs. Each one looks straight out of a sci-fi novel. I can't even do the website justice, but just check it out because there are some fantastic visuals on what will improve your chances for getting picked. Digidegrade starts at $1,500, but prices are stacked based off things like tail length and marking complexity, and as mentioned, you're going to want to include some preferred options to get a better chance of getting picked because this is a very, very well-known maker. This suit is also one of their most recent and is absolutely my favorite. I think the suit itself really shows with every suit they keep improving, which is kind of scary. Easily, the thing I love the most are the teeth. I love the tusk style teeth that blends in with the fur. Not to mention the eyes light up. It has 2 sets of ears. Come on now. I'm so thankful this got commissioned. Thank you to whoever owns this persona because you did an amazing job. Made for you. With heads starting at $1,500 and digi starting at $4,000, this maker has such a recognizable style that honestly, I'm gonna give credit to being the cornerstone of inspiration for so many new makers today. They offer hidden pockets in their suits, which I don't understand why it isn't a bigger thing, but okay. But their site actually also offers categories based off which types of suits they've already made. The first 7, of course, are canines. But then you also have hoofed animals, small critters, felines, fantasy, avians, and collabs. Like, why don't more makers have this? I love that so much. A maker that can branch to different species always gets extra respect points from me. So my favorite suit by them is actually one I found scrolling through Insta. I had no idea it was made for you fursuit, like, at all. And it's actually considered a dreamy of mine. I have like a little dreamy tab, and this is one of them. I love it so much. Everything from the curvature of the antlers to the soft airbrushing around the lips and blending of the fur. Like, you don't see a lot of like very subtle airbrushing, because I think when people do it, like, they go to town on it. But just seeing like the small soft bits of airbrushing turn a suit, like, brings a suit to life. It honestly screams Alaskan wilderness for me, and now I'm craving hot chocolate in the middle of the desert, so I hope you're happy. More for less. Alright, when I think of Toonie, I think more for less. That is the first thought that comes to my head. When someone says Toonie fursuit, I think more for less immediately. So Digi starts at $6,600, and their heads actually start at $3,000. But this maker has not shied away from wacky, adorable, and grumpy designs. They're famous for their detachable eyebrows, which for a while were actually one of the first to really implement that, from what I hear. One of my favorite suits by them is an incredible bird character they made. It's not often you see giant arm wings, but they nailed it in every single way. I really love this character so much. They've actually also made some iconic furry YouTuber designs such as Bakari Roo and Beta Eta Delota. One of my favorite suits by them also has to be this incredible corgi. I'm obsessed with the adorable design. I love the floppy ears, and it's such a cute and classic dog. There isn't much I can really say for this cutie beyond the fact that it's criminal that they don't have a cute collar to go with that. Elkcraft. God, what can I not say about this maker? Honestly, I feel pretty bad because I feel like she deserves her own video altogether. This maker has single-handedly pushed the boundaries on how complicated people feel like they can and should make their designs. You always hear the term fursuit suitable designs, but Elkcraft, those words don't even apply. She's made sparkle dogs, dragons, rats, birds, and moths. She's honestly got the most respect out of any fursuit maker I know. This is because it's her mission statement to bring originality to the fandom and show people you don't just need a dog or wolf to be your persona, but you actually have the potential to do anything with it. Her designs are so eye-catching, and her digitogrid actually only starts at $3,300. One of my favorite fursuits for her, I've actually got to give it props to her fox fursuit. I know this may be considered an anticlimactic fursuit in comparison to all the amazing work she does, but from what I know, this suit was a quick personal suit, with the turnaround was being a week. This suit absolutely, for me, is a stunning example how even a basic fox exemplifies her style in every sense of the word. That bright orange and adorable structure, she uses it on her YouTube channel a few times, so be sure to check those out, because I love everything about this fox so much, I almost put a bid in. Deer in a Hat. Oh my Jesus, I love everything about their suits, from their Jumpy Teeth to their giant snoots. I didn't mean to rhyme, but, like, how good of a suit maker do you have to be for me to accidentally rhyme? One of my friends made a commissioned design, and she's actually hoping that the design get picked for Deer in the Hat, so we're actually crossing our fingers really hard on that. If it does get picked, I will not only cry, I will make a feature-length film on everything about that, because that is so amazing. I'm so glad that she made the design. These actually start at $3,000, but they've made a few drop crotch and plush suits, so do keep an eye out for those. I'm not sure what it is, but they have the cutest snoots ever. Like, I love their nose design and their slightly cartoony lift it gives their character. Like, anyway, back to the talk. Even though this is just a head, as far as I found, this actually stands as my favorite fursuit. You will find that out very quickly. I love crisp designs and a good shape job. I'm also a sucker for soft babies, and this looks like the softest baby of them all. I'm a super avid suitor, but this is actually one I would consider breaking the bank for. Alright, last but certainly not least, Beast Cub Creations. Jesus Christmas. This is another maker that could have done a whole video on. Their suits are so sought after. They only open once a year for 10 artistic liberty designs. This maker also specializes in realistic and semi-realistic suits. They're famous for being one of the only quad suit makers as far as their website says. They've been making suits for also almost 12 years. Even back then they made quad suits, so their craft has only amplified itself into something absolutely amazing. There's God tier maker, and then there's Beast Cup. From start to completion, their suits actually only take 3 to 5 weeks, but keep in mind, they take 10 people a year. So it could actually be months before they even get started on yours. But what can you expect from absolute such quality? Since they only do artistic liberty, a ref seat actually isn't required for one of their famous quad suits, but you're gonna want an idea of what you want, duh. And you're also gonna need more than just a duct tape dummy. You're gonna need a rock climbing helmet, a hand cut out, shoes, and a double duct tape dummy for accuracy. So like a duct tape dummy on top of a duct tape dummy. So quad suits are actually $6,000 to $10,000, which is pretty much the price of a car. So you might as well be taking that quad suit down to Circle K. My favorite suit by them actually has got to be this amazing horse. And I know I've said amazing like every time in this video. So if you're doing like a shot challenge, please don't get drunk and please be safe about it. Now this was really hard because they have so many beautiful suits that just scream, this is beautiful and you need to shell out all your money for this and refinance your house. And even though I have a bias for tuni and kimono suits, this fursuit is actually one I show people when I say that fursuit making is an art. Always admire the time and dedication each suit has. This suit is no less than one of the most intricately crafted and beautiful pieces of 3D art that I can ever really imagine. Now, I will of course make a part 2 with this eventually or whatever. I know I missed a lot of makers. I missed like Sparky Bites, Multicolor Bark. Hey, so I'm about like 5 hours in editing, and I realized that Multicolor Bark and Autumn Fallings are actually the same person. Crazy, right? Yeah, that's why I couldn't find a price list. So they're like $7,000, and they don't do quotes. I'm going to bed. You know, Beetle Cat, so many makers. Honestly, just put them in the comments because I'm literally just making a list. I don't plan on doing a video solely to large makers unless they have like specific reasons. But for now, I really want to focus on makers that really do need the shout out. There's absolutely no hate going to these top makers, of course. In fact, I want to thank each and every one of them for taking the lead in this amazing world that I am so glad to be in. If it wasn't for them, I might not be making videos, and I probably wouldn't be a fursuit maker either. So, give all of them some love. I will see you next time.